Generally speaking, most of the adversarial techniques that you need to be concerned with are identified in the MITRE ATT&CK framework and other general knowledge bases. However, web application security is nearly its entirely own field of security testing, and there are whole classes of attacks that are specific to just web applications and associated software. The organization known as OWASP, the Open Web Application Security Project, is extremely prominent in the space and has a top 10 list that provides a detailed accounting of the top 10 attacks seen in the wild recently. It's updated periodically, but I'm going to show you where to find it and how to make sense of that information as a resource, and then we can take a look at how this differs from red team and adversarial tactics for post-exploitation that are covered in other courses within the Security Event Triage series. Just real quick, I want to show you where to go for the most recent OWASP top 10 documents. As with most things, I'm sure it's just a quick Google away, but let me save you a let me Google that for you embarrassment just in case it isn't as intuitive as it seems. Browse to the OWASP.org main landing page, and you will find a description of the foundation, their mission, and a ton of associated resources. On the left side and a bit of the way down the page is a project link taking you to the main project page. OWASP is involved in all sorts of projects with different projects popping in and out of existence like Quantum Foam. But if you navigate to the project inventory tab to find the list of what they call flagship mature projects, these projects occupy our physical reality in a more permanent fashion and include popular tools like Z-Attack Proxy and a few of the demo lab environments that they maintain that you will be using later in this course as well. A bit further down the list is the OWASP Top 10 link that we're looking for. The most recent revision was in 2017, and you can still see the full report by clicking this link that brings up the associated PDF. I highly recommend reading through each of these vulnerabilities to fully understand what they are and how they're exploited and how to mitigate them. I'm not going to spend time on that right now, not just because you can read, but also because we have other courses that go in depth into the OWASP Top 10 2017 revision. But what I do want you to notice is the level of detail that each of the 10 exploited vulnerabilities has, starting with injection. Vectors with required weaknesses and impacts of exploitation are explained in detail, as well as the various types of injects that are possible. There's even a section that describes how to understand if a given web application is vulnerable to injection, how to prevent this condition, examples of attack scenarios, and a litany of references. In this course, you're going to be exposed to the majority of the top 10 techniques, because these are the documented most popular attack vectors. And OWASP is a great location to get detailed information about these techniques. Now, you know I love MITRE and what it's doing with the attack framework. And aligning detection capabilities in the Security Event Triage series to MITRE attack techniques is a focus. But browsing to mitreattack.org and looking at tactics, it isn't immediately clear where to look for web application specific details. As it's often a method used for initial access, you can imagine that this section may contain some of the techniques that I'm going to cover. And sure enough, the technique covering the exploitation of public-facing applications is included here, but no others. In fact, this single technique description is uncharacteristically general for this project, covering nearly all of the web app attack techniques within one blanket category. Not a bash on MITRE ATT&CK, but I did want you to understand the differences in the focus of the two projects and why there is a heavier focus in this course on aligning with the techniques described specifically within the OWASP Top 10.